Tick tock, time na money. Ori, me, check a shake yori. Lick it, come and take me away to the place of my desire. I don't wanna be late.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to Lasgidi Effect. And yes, this is the final Lasgidi Effect for the year 2021.
That's right.
We're excited. Today is, it's a landmark day. It's the 29th episode. I think we're just talking about it right before the start of the show. The first episode was on May 20th, so since May, we've
hmm
been kicking it, and big ups to everybody who is riding with us. And it's Last Good Effect, man. We're just, a bunch of Niger boys. We come here, we talk about football, talk about
hmm
soccer. And, as usual, it's your boy, Bimika. I'm here, and I have with me Mossy Boy. Mossy Boy,
Yes.
what's up? How's it going?
Nothing much, brother. Still same old. Yeah, we just riding along basically.
Yeah,
Nothing,
yeah,
nothing
yeah. I
to,
mean,
nothing to nothing to excite about really, apart from just get excited about Christmas comes and it's gone. Looking forward to the New Year, and that's it.
Oh well, oh well. I mean, first of all, let me give a shout out to Bemiro or Mokayode is in the chat. Big ups to you, Bemiro. Big ups to you, Gio, as well. Gio is in the
Yes, Jew, Jew,
building.
Jew, Jew, Jew,
Uh
Jew.
yeah, so compliments of the season to you, Bemiro. Big ups to you. And Gio is saying Mossy Boy looks good, looks in a good mood. Gio, Mossy Boy doesn't is not the kind of fan that will get too excited, you know. But at the moment, it's hard for anybody to be sad because I was going
Yeah,
to say this, Mossy Boy, your club at the moment, right?
yeah.
And I know that, obviously we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. The games we've won are games we would naturally be
That's
expected
supposed
to
to. Yeah,
win.
that's right. Yeah.
But since we lost to, United and Everton back to back, we've played 5 games and we've recorded 5 wins. But that's not all I'm going to say, right? In those games, we've scored 24 goals
hmm
and conceded 2. Oh, no,
Two.
no, no, I'm not correct. That's
Yeah,
that's
we
incorrect.
considered. I think two. I think,
No, we scored 19 goals rather. We scored
and we
19 goals and
considered two.
conceded 2.
Two. Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, it's hard to be sad about that, right? I mean, what do you think? How would you the last 5 games, the form we're in? How would you describe it? How does that make you feel?
Like you said, the games that we played are the games that we're supposed to are the team that we're supposed to be beating. So I want us to go and do exactly the same. We got Man City on Saturday. I want us
Yeah,
to go. They Man City, they are not invincible. They can be
they
beaten. We've seen it.
they
They
nobody's
concede
invincible.
goals.
We've already everybody has already
Yeah,
lost
so
games this season.
they're human. We need to go there and just take the game to them. If they think, I was watching Manchester City yesterday against Brentford. Brent, I
No,
swear, I was actually telling the missus, I just said, Brentford, they just with time, Man City will just scored immediately. I said that they scored because it's Man City, but
it's City. That's what they do.
I don't think they are not they can be beaten. Any team that can, so we just need. But all I know that on that Saturday we're just going to sit back. We let them have the ball because teams let them have the ball. Look at them when they play Liverpool and Chelsea because Liverpool and Chelsea will not let them have the ball. That's why the game is always like 50-50. Just
I'm
get in
also
their
boy.
faces. That's it.
You make a valid point, right?
hmm
The valid point that you make is teams like Brentford. If you
hmm
ask me, in my opinion, they're
Yes.
a yes, they're a newly promoted side,
hmm
but what they have, right, and Tade alludes to this a lot as well, is they have a fighting spirit,
It's
right?
fighting spirit. Yeah.
And you can see it, especially when they're playing big teams. When they came to us now, they didn't come to play like underdogs. They came and they brushed us neat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
They
their
came
home,
to
right?
win the game.
They came to win, even though
Yeah.
that was the first game in a newly promoted
hmm
in a league that they just got promoted to. They won.
hmm
when they played Liverpool, we always remember Liverpool Brentford. I think
Hmm.
the game ended 3-3 or something
Yeah,
ridiculous
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, and the 3-3. Yeah,
They took the game to Liverpool,
they took the
right?
game to Liverpool.
Look
They
at
want
them
to do the same
again.
thing yesterday with
You
Man
get
City.
they tried to take the game to
Mm.
City yesterday. And
But
even though they lost, Mossy Boy, here's what you can say.
and they
Even though
only
they
concede
lost,
one goal that
they
yesterday.
considered only one goal.
One goal.
That in my opinion, that is a respectable scoreline
Hmm.
against a City side that
That
honestly they're
they're
probably the
ruthless.
best team in the league. When we
Yeah,
faced City, we lost 5-0 in the first
five
leg.
nil. Yeah, yeah.
So do you understand? So the point I'm trying to make is seems like Brentford show you
Hmm.
that like yes, it's not like you would go to the big boys and dominate them, but you don't have to lose like you don't have to lose terribly the way
Mm.
Arsenal typically loses against Manchester City.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit hopeful that in the form that we're in, right, there seems to be a sense of connection amongst our squad right now. People
Yeah.
are playing, multiple players are scoring. Saka is scoring, Smith Rowe is scoring, Odegaard is scoring, Lacazette is scoring, Martinelli is scoring. Different people are posing attacking threats now,
Hmm.
and I think I'm not even saying go and beat Manchester City, right? But I'm
But
saying
even though
put
if they're going to beat
in a
us,
fight.
let them work for their goals. I'm not saying we're gonna. I'm not saying because we are the Emirates, we have a very good
Exactly, you're
home
home.
record. Okay, so we don't want to give them that easy ride. Look at Brentford yesterday. They beat Brentford, but Brentford doesn't give them an easy ride. You understand? They make Man City work for
For
that
that
one
win.
goal they scored, right?
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to say is Man City on both left back and right back, we cannot penetrate through them from there. Where Man City is very, very weak are the two centre half. If Laporte and Diaz playing, that's where their weakness is. But right back, left back, they're very good going. They're just like Liverpool fullbacks going forward.
Liverpool fullbacks. But
But
funny thing
you know,
is, I mean, like you said, I actually think that we can take advantage of their left back and right back as well, simply because
no,
there's a lot
we
of
can't
overlap
because
that happens depending
overlap.
on who
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
And if we have I mean, Martinelli is pretty fast. I wish we had
Mm,
Aubameyang, but I mean,
yeah.
Aubameyang hasn't even been in form, so you can't really rely on
But
him.
he's left for
But
AFCON
you
anyway. So,
exactly, but you know that if you have a player that has pace and you
hmm,
play, quick direct counter attack, you can
hmm,
possibly catch, the overlapping left back or right back, and you can use that to create a
mm,
chance. But it is what it is, right? And I want to take a few comments because people are already talking about this
y-
Man City game, and it's
yeah.
like we're kicking the show off with it, right? Graham Rose says we're going to lose 5-1 to Manchester City.
I don't
And the
think we're going to lose 5-1, but we're going to lose the game.
and he says, and the excuse will be it is a free hit or Ateta was not available, so that affected the game.
To me,
There's
they
always
don't they
an
don't need to talk
excuse
about that
for
anyway.
Ateta. I mean, if I see Bemiro's point,
Yeah.
right, and I'm 100% sure that if we lose, people are going to say it's because Ateta wasn't available, right? But I think let's discuss this for a moment. The idea of some games being free hits, right? Usually at the moment now we have games like if it's City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Some Arsenal fans just believe that's a free hit. Like we're supposed to lose those games, so don't
Mm.
be angry if we lose. What do you think about that?
Why won't I be angry if we lose to Chelsea, Liverpool, or Man City? Why won't I be angry? They can be beaten. So why do
But
people
on
say,
paper,
"Oh
they're
yeah, he's
supposed to
a"?
be better than us. Is why people
That's
say
on
it's free
paper.
hit.
We're supposed to be better than Brentford on paper. They came to Emirates, or well, we go to them. They beat us 2-0. So
True.
they're supposed to be better than us on paper. They are there. We can be beaten. We just need to explore their weakness. So don't
Absolute facts.
don't you
Absolute
know
fact. And I think that's the next level of our development is taking away this idea that any game is a free hit. No, go there and compete, and you just might
just
win.
go and compete. That's the
And let's see
that's
where
the
it is.
game.
Big off my man, Sentiment FC
Sentiment.
in the
Yes, yes.
building, always coming with a bang. I'm
With
still
a
waiting for
bang.
Randy
That's right.
Viper. And Usman Ali. Sentiment
Randy
says
Viper might
Arteta
be
out.
he might be watching Man United game
Oh,
now.
okay,
So
okay, okay. Sentiment is still Arteta out. Oh. And
yeah.
Sentiment, I mean, maybe tell us why. As in, how are you feeling about the fact that at the moment we seem to be winning, we seem to be in a bit of form.
Mm.
It says big up demand and Birmingham, Mossy Boy, and Gio Syria are number one striker soon land. And I think he's talking about Vlahovic
But
from Florentina. We've been linked with him, and people are saying, as Arteta is trying to land him in January. I mean, we'll see how that goes.
yeah, but I mean, when it comes to signing a player, when it comes to Arsenal, January window we open now. I tell you, we Arsenal will be linked to every single
Yeah,
player.
that's how it is. You
They,
already
I
know.
was
We're already
see, I
linked
was,
like three or
I'm
four.
seeing, I'm seeing it that we've linked to Coutinho. His agent is in London to talk already.
Those kinds
Now,
of things. I think
yeah.
that those kinds of
s-
things
So
is
what?
is agents that start it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, let me start push this in
Mm,
the press and see if
so
Arsenal will be interested.
so what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to Arsenal transfer, I don't really get worked up on that. If it comes, it come. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. So I'm only supporting the team, just the team to kind of give me the result I want. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big
Hmm.
ups to you for that. That makes sense. Gbemere is also saying no free hits for big clubs. True, we agree. If Graham Potter had collected 4 points out of six at Anfield in 2 seasons, there's no more excuses against the big
That's
teams. They
correct.
took the game to Chelsea yesterday, and
Yeah.
that's just facts on facts.
Hmm.
Facts on facts. You make a
They are
very
lucky
valid
not to
point there,
win the game,
Gbemere.
Seth.
Exactly. Like, yesterday they ended up drawing 1-1. Like, you don't give
Mm.
up no matter where you're playing. Sentiment says, Mossy Boy, I correct. We won't lose 5-1. It will be 5. Come on, man. He's even saying Bemiro is generous for giving us one goal. We won't even
But
look like
listen. We're not going to. They're not going to score us 5 goals, but we probably lose.
nah, it'll
Maybe
be too
probably
embarrassing because
it
we
will be
already
too.
lost 5-0 at
So
the
because
Etihad.
if
Kilo
we
J.
if we lose 5-0, oh my God,
Like, that's
then
too much. How do we turn
all those pressure will come back to Ateta again. Five
Bro,
nil,
I'm telling you, if we lose 5-0, our goal difference goes back to 4. Like, it would just be too much.
you know.
I don't want that, please.
But
And
the only one positive that I can see in the table right now, even though if Manchester United if they win tonight, they still stay behind us. But Tottenham has got 2 games in hand.
in
If they
hand.
win both matches, they go to fourth. They
They
go
go
above us.
fifth. And this is why
So
people have been telling us don't be too excited.
you
The
get
teams
me?
beneath us have games in hand. But yeah, we keep it
I,
moving.
yeah,
Bemiro says he would take Graham Potter at Arsenal right now over Ateta. Yes, there are a huge sect of fans who would love to see that. Sentiment says it was a good time to face Everton. Then Rafa broke Ateta. Ugh, I
yeah.
will never
Let
forget
me
that day.
say
That was
something. Let
actually
me say something about that last comment you brought
the
up.
Graham Potter
Yeah.
one
No, no, no.
or
The
the
yeah, Rafa
Benitez
one.
one. Okay.
Okay. So what I want to say is, first of all, I was watching I was watching Chelsea manager yesterday, and the other day I was watching Rafa Benitez. You see, those two managers, yeah. I'm not sure, but I can, and I watch what's the name of the Norwich manager as well,
Dean Smith.
Dean Smith. I can understand where Dean Smith is coming from. They only just finished playing us, right? And 48 hours later they're playing another game. if if the Premier League wants to be fair enough, every single team should be doing the
Should
same
be
thing.
playing it. Yeah,
Why would you? It means you don't give Norwich a chance to stay up.
it's
They
not a
play
fair
now
chance.
48 hours, you're asking them to be playing again, so you don't give them, because they're not reporting any issue from their club or whatever. You ask them to go and play, they lost that
They
game
lost
as
three
well,
0 Mm-hmm.
right? So now Chelsea, Everton are they let me put it this way. Don't let me pick up those two teams. Every single team in the Premier League, at least from under 18s, under 21, under 23, and the first team, at least each team has got about 40 players, right?
Mm-hmm.
If when it comes to Carabao Cup and when it comes to FA Cup, you see young stars from every club. They play in that competition. Okay. Now, those two managers are complaining that, oh, they're seven of their first team or whatever, yeah, or 10 of their first team has got COVID or whatever. I will give you one example. The last time, the first COVID thing, when Aston Villa when the whole their first team training ground gets shut
Yeah, I
down.
remember Liverpool
When
played them
Liverpool, yeah,
and they
when
played
Aston Villa
kids.
has to go and play Liverpool with kids, with their under 23 or under 21,
Hmm.
when they score first actually in
Yeah, I
that
remember.
game, and they
That was a good day, man.
so
I was happy
if
for them.
Premier League can allow, if Premier League didn't call that game off, and Aston Villa used their young boys to go and play Liverpool, and Liverpool was very good. They are in good form
Yeah,
then.
I think it was
Then
even I think it was a cup game. I'm not sure,
yeah,
but yeah,
I think it was. Then why wouldn't they just carry? Because the way the situation, the things is now, when you started calling off game because they're saying that, oh, 10, 9 or 7 of the first team player got COVID. They've got under 20, let them use the under 23, because when it comes to cup game, these are the kids they're going to bring into play anyway.
anyways.
We could understand that the situation of the world right now, but because of that you can't just get on with it. I was watching Tuchel. I just tell Tuchel, just shut up and just get on with the game.
Get
You
on with
have
it
big enough squad to
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 cope
to
with the
to,
pressure.
you to cope with the
Um,
pressure.
I mean, yeah, you make a valid point. I think what you're advocating for is that I think I mean if I know the player registration rules, teams will register what 25 players,
Mm.
and then any player that is under the age of 21 does not need to be registered. They can play.
Yeah, but the
So
thing is, at this situation, okay, Premier League doesn't want. Okay, let's do it this way. The managers are crying to say, okay, Premier League should change the rule from 3 substitute to 5. They don't want to do that. Okay, if you don't want to do that, let them, give them chance to bring players in from, because at least each Premier League register 25 man for the season, right?
yes,
You can scrap for the because of the situation of the world now,
you
scrap
increase the
that.
number of
No, no,
players.
no, they just make it unlimited.
Oh, okay.
You understand? They should scrap that, make it unlimited, register as many players as you want to play in the Premier League. So people from under 23, under 21, they can come in
Okay.
and just have the first team experience
That's
instead of.
what to the English FA. Mossy boy, yes, you should come and appoint him director of football. It
So
would change the
because
structure to
because
cope with all of these
they don't
things.
want to make the 5 substitute, because everywhere in Europe right now
There's five
there is
substitutes.
5 substitute.
Yeah,
If
yeah, yeah. I
Premier
get
League
that.
doesn't want to go 5 substitute, player that is registered to play in the Premier League should be unlimited.
Should be unlimited. Okay, okay.
So
Very, very valid point. I mean, hopefully something is done about it. Let's take a few comments and then we move on to some of the topics we want to discuss today.
mhm.
Sentiment is saying Syria striker is Oba. Oh, it's not Vlahovic he was talking about. Oh, my man he has sold Oba to AC Milan. I mean, we'll probably touch on Aubameyang a little bit during the show as well. It says the
Mhm.
Amazon commentators are talking about Manchester United leaking roof. Chelsea fans crying after bragging about La Coba. Honestly, man. I mean, it is what it is. COVID will always make the situation funny, and people will always use everything they
Because
can as
everybody
an
knows about
excuse.
it now. Everybody knows about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we just have to move on, really. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So, anyways, so let's get on with the show, right? Let's talk about Arsenal in the year 2021, right?
Hmm.
I remember towards the end of last year,
Yeah.
as in Ateta out was the major thing
Hmm.
because from November all the way through most of December, we
Hmm.
had not won a single game.
Yeah.
Then we played Chelsea on Boxing Day,
Hmm.
and then that was the beginning of the turnaround. Then we
Hmm.
played, first game of the year, we played West Ham, beat them 4-0, did all of the things we did, and then finished in eighth place, right?
Mm.
We also obviously got to the semi-finals of the Europa League, but
Yeah.
got kicked out by Southampton in the FA Cup, I think, and finished the season trophyless. And
Hmm.
for the first time in 26 years, we were
Mm.
not going to go to any European competition.
Hmm.
And that was where we ended the season in May, right? And then we had the summer. There were a couple of signings. Project Youth became a thing. We
Mm.
brought in all sorts of young players from different parts of the world,
Yeah.
and then started to, this season. What happened this season? We lost our first three games. We were in 20th position.
Hmm.
Now we've gone through all of that. We're now sitting in fourth place, albeit the teams behind us have some games in hand, but we're sitting in fourth place currently.
Temporarily.
temporarily we're still in the cups. Um,
Hmm.
although we now have to play
Only two
Liverpool.
cups.
When the two cups we were playing, although we now have to play Liverpool in that Carabao Cup.
Mm,
God help us. So I mean that's been 2021 for Arsenal so far.
mm.
What is your assessment, Mossy Boy? Has it been a good season, a good year, or a bad year?
I'm not gonna say good. I'm not gonna say bad. Probably fair. So it's a fair year. So we've gone through a lot of rough patches, and I think maybe probably now we kind of going through the good run now. So like as you know me, I don't get excited about it at all.
I know,
So
I know.
because it's Arsenal is something that we've seen so many years. You mentioned something like when you're talking that you remember the season we finished eighth and we won the FA Cup.
Mhm.
That is where a lot of people doesn't wake up then that this the manager is because he won FA Cup, you think is the man for Arsenal. Then the following season, he doesn't win anything and he still finished eighth. Then people now started talking about the year before that we finished eighth. I said because he uses the FA Cup to
So,
even though if Ateta had gone on to win the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, he finished top four. I still want him gone because it's not the man
for the job.
for the job. Is the Amazon thing that they're talking about is just using the Amazon thing to generate money for the
It's
club.
more
That's all.
PR now, more
It's
PR,
not.
more
It's more
money, and all
PR
of that.
thing. If the Amazon, if for example, if he went on to win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup and he finished the top four, then you will see that they're going to release they're going to release that Amazon documentary. But if he doesn't win anything, he finish out of the top four.
I don't think they
You
have a
will
choice, so they
will
must
we will be
release.
we will be waiting for a long time. They will do it because we will be waiting for a long time for that documentary to be released.
Okay,
Because
okay.
for me, because if we finish top four and it took us to the Champions League, we, I will be we will struggle to come out of the group stage because group stages of Champions League these days are so
It's not
tough.
very easy, yeah.
It is so tough. Like we really need a manager that is going to come to Arsenal that is going to, like I said, we got some good young players, like you said. We just need
We just need to put the right
someone
management
that is going to get the best out of
around
them.
them.
Look at Manchester City for example. If a player come out of the pitch, someone that is coming on is even littler than the person coming off.
The bench is lit, man. They've
It
spent a lot of
is,
money on that
but
squad.
the only person that I would say that is going to come on our bench right now that is we know that is going to be doing something is Smith Rowe and Pepe.
Yeah, I
Apart
mean,
from
okay,
those
well,
two
valid.
guys, who else do we have
We have that can come and change the
that
game.
can
I
come and
mean,
change the game?
you make a very valid point. And I think that one of the priorities in the new year, whether it's
Mm,
the January transfer window or it's the summer transfer window in 2022,
yeah.
some of the priorities will also be to start to improve our squad depth and bring
Hmm.
in more quality players, like you said,
Hmm.
so that at least we can have more, a lot of good options on the bench, right?
Mm,
And I mean, I hear your assessment of the season we've had. Like you did say, there were a lot of ups and downs. There were
mm,
moments where we were winning and then we were just losing.
losing.
There were times where we weren't scoring goals. There
Yeah.
was
Hmm.
a lot of drama. We talked about this a few weeks
Hmm.
ago about a lot of the drama
Even
around the
even
club.
up till now, we ain't scoring a lot of goals.
No, I mean in the last 4 games we scored
Uh,
19 goals. To
Yeah,
be
but the
fair,
team that we play, we play Norwich, we score five. We play who do we play again that we score five? Is in a cup game now. We
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
scored
yeah, yeah.
5 goals in the Premier League,
Well, I mean,
apart from that
we
Norwich.
scored three against Southampton, two against
Yeah,
West Ham, four
yeah.
against Leeds, five against Sunderland, and five against Norwich.
Yeah, so
So I mean, you make a valid point, but my point is, it's just been ups and downs and a lot of
mhm,
drama. There's still today we still talk about Guendouzi, what we could have done with him, Saliba, what we could have done with him, Lucas Torreira, Aubameyang now in more recent times,
mhm.
Nketiah, Maitland-Niles, all sorts of things.
Ozil, everything.
I mean, Ozil was probably before the season, but the thing that I say
Mm,
is my honest conclusion about Mikel Arteta, and I keep saying
mhm.
it, right? And I think I said this on the show last week rather, that all of these things, it's not Arteta's fault,
Whose
right?
fault?
It's the fault of the people that gave him the job
The job. Okay,
because
right. I
they
agree.
knew that this
That
guy
he's
had
got no
never done
experience.
this before,
Hmm.
and yet you put him in charge of probably the most critical moment of your club's history, a rebuild. So all of the things we've seen are evidences of Arteta's inexperience. It's just
Inexperience.
facts. This the guy is inexperienced, and these are the kinds of mistakes that rookies make, and he's making
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
Right? We either deal with it and accept that yeah, this is what we're gonna get, or we let him go and find somebody experienced. But I think Arteta is the project at us now. At this point, I
I
don't
think
think
the guy lied on
even the
his. He
squad is the
lied on his
project.
CV.
I think Adeta is a project. But anyways, let's take a few comments. There's been a bunch of comments here. Bemiro
Mm,
says it's been a bad year overall for the club, right?
mm.
And he's gone on to explain a number of things. He says if Emery had been given the same time, money Arteta has been given, will probably be in a title race.
That's right.
But Arsenal fans don't want to hear that
Mm.
because he does not talk in riddles and it does not have perfect drip. Emery was bullied by the media in England. That
Yeah,
one is
but this
true,
is
sure.
this is this is what I want to. That last comment that Bemiro said, I completely agree with it. I'm 100% agree with it. I've been saying on this show that if they can not give Emery time, why would they give the Atata this time? Because if you watch Atata, yeah, he's very good in talking. He's
No,
if you
he's a good he's a good
if he
public
talks,
speaker.
if he talks,
He's a
people will
PR
just sit down.
merchant. That's what I want
People will
to
just
be
sit down
honest.
there. Will be listening to him. He just do the talk. He doesn't work the work.
The guy did
You
it to see.
understand?
As I am like this, when Ateta joined this club, I can tell you that
Mm,
up until we went on that like streak when we went winning, I
mm,
used to watch every single Ateta press conference. I used to listen to everything he said because he spoke so well. It gave you a sense of I know what I'm doing. But
mm,
after that, I realized this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's just using these words to brainwash us. But
mhm.
in comparison to Emery, I mean Emery, funny. And let me say this right. And I want you to go and pay attention to Arteta's press conferences. Some of the vocal errors that Emery used to make, good evening, all those things. Do you know Ateta does them as well?
Yeah, because they're
Because
both
they're both
they're
Spanish.
Spanish.
But
They,
guess what? Guess what? The media hounded Emery for it. But
they,
nobody has ever said anything about Ateta for it.
but I don't know why, because Emery that he only did that's his first job in English club, right, against Arsenal. So if you look at what's it called, Pochettino. When Pochettino came to Tottenham, he cannot speak a word of English. But this guy is just trying to express himself. His English is not his first language, and you're just taking a mick out of
You're
him.
just taking a mick out of him.
It's
Exactly. Like
uh,
I feel like that reflected very poorly on the English media. Just
you understand what I
that
mean?
thing that he did,
So,
and a lot of Arsenal fans as well. But it is what it is.
but I'm not going to say. Let me say this. I'm not going to say Emery has done really well when he was Arsenal. He doesn't, because it doesn't. I'm not defending him. However, Ateta has done worse
Than
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 he
Emery,
has a really bad run than Emery, and you still
and
keep him in the job.
he hasn't even done some of the. I mean, he's done some good things, right? But it is
Well,
what it is. Let's just move on. I
yeah.
don't. This Ateta Emery. Let's just. Gwemiro says, let's remember Emery did not want Torreira. I think he's backing up his point around like
Mhm.
transfers. Emery did not want Torreira and Danny Ceballos. He asked for Partey and Fabinho. He asked for Maguire
No,
and
no, no.
Solini.
He asked
He got
for
Luis and
no, no, no.
Socrates.
He asked for Zaha
No,
and
yeah. He
Fabinho.
also has that here. There's another comment where he has said, although I rated Pepe and wanted Zaha, I can understand why he wanted him because Zaha was ready for now. So yeah, he's just giving a few examples. he wanted, according to him now, Emery wanted Partey and Fabinho, and do you know that if we had gotten Partey and Fabinho instead of Torreira and Denis Ceballos, that would have been a game changer.
No, no,
Because
yeah.
Fabinho now
Look at Fabinho
is
in
doing
Liverpool. Is
bits at
that guy is a
Liverpool,
machine.
and you can see what Partey can do. Actually, that would have been great, right? They said they wanted Maguire and Soyuncu. I mean, I don't know about Maguire these days, although I rate Soyuncu.
But
But with God having the
I
reason and
remember then
practice.
when Arsenal linked with Siyunku.
Hmm.
I completely remember, but
I remember. I
we
remember.
didn't go for him.
I
No.
used to watch. It was AFTV Transfer Daily
I'm
then.
actually
Robbie
glad that we didn't sign
every day.
Maguire. I'm really glad that we didn't
I
sign
wouldn't
him.
sign
Yeah.
Maguire. Maguire hasn't. He hasn't, because we would have paid ridiculous fees for
So
him,
yeah,
and we will be
80
the one in the
million,
situation United is
80
in now.
million. No,
There's
even though 50
also
million that we pay for Ben White is still
it's
haunting me.
still haunting you. I mean, there's also the Pepe and Zaha issue. We know how that has been. Um, and then he says, don't you think that if Emery had gotten his players, we would have gotten top four by now and maybe won the Europa League?
Mhm,
People would say he bottled top four. I think he bottled it for the right reasons. I would rather win a trophy than finish fourth. You don't look back on history saying, but we finished fourth. Is also saying, I think it was trying to go for winning a trophy and then qualifying for Champions League, then things went downhill.
mhm,
I mean, that's Bemiro's assessment of the situation with Emery and sort of comparing it to the resources that have been made available for Arteta.
mhm.
I mean, yeah, it did, but he says his ultimate comment is that it's been a bad year overall for this club. Sentiment here is saying the small teams, 14 teams with not so good squads, don't want five subs as they don't have a lot of quality players. So I guess this is in response to what you were saying
About
earlier,
five.
Mossy
Yeah,
Boy.
but if they don't want to do that, they then make it unlimited for the player they register to
For
come and play in the
exactly
Premier League.
register. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting. Dizzy, big ups to you, Dizzy.
yeah,
Thank
it's
you
a
for watching
new
Lasgidi. In
name, innit?
fact, it says if somebody told me at the start of the season, after losing 3 goals and sitting 28th, that by January 1st we'll be in the top four, barring games in hand, I would have slapped you. Yes, Dizzy, I would have slapped you as well. Like I didn't see it coming. I thought it was going to be another season where we will just struggle throughout. But I mean, kudos to the manager and the players. They have, bounced back from those losses and they're in
Yeah,
top four.
this is the reason why. Let me say something. This is the reason why I said um it's a fair season so far. However, the reason why I said that is because we don't have to travel to any Europe to go and play any European game, right?
Yeah.
We should be at least because we have enough time to prepare for Premier League game. It's not like FA Cup and Carabao Cup is every Tuesday or every Thursday, or like we have at least 5 days to prepare for a game. This is why I'm saying that sitting on in fourth place is not good
Yeah.
enough.
So most boy is saying we should be
We
doing
should
better
be
than
around.
fourth place right
That's
now
correct,
because of and I
because
agree with you,
these players are having enough rest to play their next game.
Yeah, I mean,
So
COVID is disrupting that rest now.
why are
COVID,
we
can
sitting
COVID
in
please go
fourth?
away? Yeah, I mean, I like, this is what I like about you, Mossy Boy, is that like you haven't forgotten the standards, right?
You
You
know.
keep the standards that we should be trying to challenge for the league at all times.
Hmm.
It's difficult, but we shouldn't just be excited that we're in fourth. We should be trying to
Mm.
push. Yeah. So Dizzy also, I mean, he seems to not agree with Bemiro. He says Emery was a shit manager. Let's not do this. When we talk about Emery, please let's remember
Listen,
his
let me,
second season.
Bemiga, please,
Hold
please,
on, let
let
me
me,
finish the comment
yeah.
and then you respond. He says when we talk about Emery, let's remember his second season. He also didn't win a game for 2 months, played disgusting football, 30 shots to Watford and Brighton, lost in the Europa League groups. And then he says, let's not just talk about his first season, talk about his second season too. All right, so Mozi Boy.
Okay, there is one comment you brought up from DZ. It says Emery is also a shit manager.
Yeah.
When Emery left us, where did he go?
We went to Villareal.
And how long does he stay in Villarreal? How long is it?
It's still in Villarreal.
No, no,
This
no,
is
no, no.
his
How many?
what second season.
How long has he been in there? That's what I want
I
to say.
think this is his, if I'm correct, this is his second season in Villarreal.
Second season, and he has won the European League or Europa League
Okay,
already.
that's where you're
How is that a
going.
shit manager?
Every
So
night
that
Europa
is
League manager. Now that
yeah.
guy, he
So
just he like
listen.
Europa League.
I will rather win that Europa League than winning FA Cup or Carabao Cup. You understand what I mean? He left Arsenal. He was not in a job for a bit. Villarreal took him. The second
And he got
season,
them
he
the
bring
Europa League.
up a team to win, to go and win. He beat Manchester United in the final,
He
and
beat
this
us
is
as
the
well.
guy that beat us
Let's put
as
that
well.
in there.
This,
He beat us.
he beat us to get to that final. So how's that a shit manager? He, I know that in the Premier League, in my Premier League, there's some. It happens to manager, it happens to players. There are some players they say, "Oh yeah, I really wants to go and play in the Premier League." They get to the Premier League, they see that is a completely Premier League is a completely different animal from where they are coming from. It never worked for them. They leave, they go. Look at this Manchester United striker Torres. He's gone back to Barcelona
Manchester
because
City.
Premier League is not for him. When it comes to Premier League, he was so excited, he wants to play, but it's not for him. He's
It's
gone
not
back
for
to
him.
Barcelona. He's gone back to Spain.
Oh, okay, so
That
that's
might be that. That's so, and again, there are some players that you have to give them plenty of time, at least maybe probably a season or two for them to kind of adapt to Premier League. Look at Pepe, for example. He's still not adapt, but he's still scoring
no.
goals for
I won't
Arsenal.
say he hasn't adapted. I think with Pepe, he just hasn't had a manager that trusts him.
That's
That's all.
trusted him. That's right. Now let me come to manager. These things happens to managers as well. You will see manager they come from other Europe, from France, from Spain, from they come into Premier League. They see the pace. They struggle to get their players to the shape they're supposed to be able to compete. But it's very rare. But if you give manager time, then you
And
know
he will do what he will do.
he
So
will do
that's
what he
Mossy
has to
Boy
do.
putting in a defense for Emery. Sentiments here is saying, when we got to your question on the wins, to me they mean nothing. Just 3 points closer to safety. Arsenal beat Leeds, Southampton at home, West Ham
Three
at
point
home.
closer to
Does that
safety. We are,
sound
don't worry, we are
abnormal?
safe already.
It's always that once you hit 40 points, at least you're not getting relegated.
You're not getting relegated.
um,
That's right.
and so according to sentiment, that's what those means win. So, sorry, that's what those wins mean to him. So it's not we shouldn't get too excited. Bemiro is also, I mean, and I wanted to say a bit about what Bemiro said, right? Because
Mhm.
he touched on some things that I always talk about, right?
Talk about, yeah, yeah.
And which is the thing he said about Emery trying to win the Europa League and
Mhm.
prioritizing that over finishing in top four in the
Top
league
four, yeah, yeah.
as an opportunity to get into Champions League. I
Yeah.
also understand why Emery made that decision, right?
Mhm.
I mean, he's known as the Europa League guy. You
Guy,
know,
yeah, that's
he
right.
had done it multiple times in Sevilla. He backs himself to win the Europa League,
Mhm.
right? He didn't win it. Um, and he may have prioritized that. I remember it was that Crystal Palace game that broke our entire, like it
Is it
broke the
Crystal
season.
Palace or Brighton game?
No, I always say this, right?
Because all we just need to do
I
is just
remember no,
to win
but it
the,
was
the,
it was
the
it was it
Brighton
was
game.
a journey. It was a journey that led us to that place.
Mhm.
8 games to the end of the season. We had
Yeah,
8 more games. We were
yeah,
in third place and we had no top 16 to play. It was eight
that's
games. I
correct. Yep,
remember
you
it
got
was
it. Yep,
Newcastle, it was Everton, then
yep,
there was Crystal Palace,
yep.
Wolves, Leicester, there was Brighton, there was
Brighton.
Watford, and then there was somebody else, right? It was just
Mhm.
8 games, and we just needed, so there was no top 16. So there was no top
Yeah.
16. So ordinarily, it looked like, this one, a sure banker. No matter
Mhm.
what you are doing, you should
Mhm.
win. And I remember
All we
the
need is one win,
we beat Newcastle, we lost to Everton,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then we beat somebody else. I can't remember who it was. Then we lost to Crystal Palace 3-2. We lost to Leicester. We lost to Wolves. You
And
know,
we
and
drew at
that's where the
Brighton.
problem started. We drew at if we had won at Brighton, I remember that game. It was one of the
we,
reasons why I didn't
we,
like Granit
yeah.
Xhaka because he gave away a penalty that allowed Brighton equalize in that game,
Mm.
right? But if we had beaten Brighton ultimately, we would still have made top
We will
four.
still,
We
yeah,
were
that's
just
correct. Yeah,
one more win away from finishing in third position.
yeah.
But there were all these other games as well that we shouldn't have lost, like the Wolves
Mhm.
game, like the
Mhm.
Crystal Palace game, like the Leicester game. I remember that Crystal Palace game, Mustafi, he made one error that allowed Zaha to score.
Mm.
And so for me, I think that the point I'm trying to make is yes, prioritize Europa League, but
Mhm.
I don't think that is an excuse for us not being able to rake in the points we should have raked in the league when we weren't even playing the likes of City and Liverpool and
And
Chelsea
Liverpool
anymore.
and Chelsea anymore.
I think that you should that should be your bare minimum as a manager.
Hmm.
Finish fourth at least, worst case. You get don't finish in fifth position like we did. Because
Hmm.
like, are you telling me if I put you in the crunch time in the season, I put you in charge of these 8 games, no top six team, and as a good manager, you couldn't see that through
Mm.
because you wanted to win the Europa League. I mean, I think that the big teams, right? Chelsea won the Champions League, but still finished in top four.
Top
So I
four, yeah.
don't think it always has to be that give and take. And that's what
Hmm.
Emery did. To me, that's why I didn't
I
forgive
think I
Emery.
think that's the reason why everybody said Emery is shit. That is where
Exactly. It's
people
like, why
going
would you
going
bottle both? You
both,
know,
yeah.
the moment you bottled that league, you had no choice but to win the Europa League, but you still
Yeah.
didn't.
Still
So
didn't,
it
yeah.
is what it is.
Hmm.
So let's move on. I mean, there's so many comments to read.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
read a
right.
few comments and then we'll chat about a few other things. So Gwemiroya is also saying the truth is it should be a club project. It should not be linked to a manager's career. Chelsea have a club process that is not linked to a manager's career, and that's the fact. I think that Arsenal's project is linked to Arteta, and it's too much.
Mhm.
Sentiment saying Dizzy, who is in the UCL squad with a squad worth 70 million, who is out of Europe, we spent 90 and 150. I think Sentiment is also trying to defend Emery right there. Bimro says, "Hey Dizzy, how many shots do we have?" Okay, I'm just going to leave this comments. He says Emery has won title with PSG every year. He has been in that competition. He has gone to the final 4 out of 5 times. Only lost the final with the Banta club. That's
Mhm.
Arsenal. Oh, God help us. Anyways, big ups to Osman Ali, who is finally here.
This man Ali,
He
Ali, Ali.
says 2021 was a year of contrasts. Osman Ali always comes with the best. He starts with the best comments. He says from very good performances to bleak ones, from overachieving youngsters like Saka, Gbemiga, and ESR to ghosts like Oba, Tade, and Pepe. Consistency is key for. I hope. I used to message Tade again. Tade, I hope you are watching this
During
show.
this too.
You see this Osman comments, right? Big ups to Osman Ali. I mean, like, shout out to you for being with us all through the year.
Mm,
Um, oh my god, that's so funny. Osman also says, let's have a Tari 2021 review in the comment section. How would you rate his disappearance after top 10? Oh my god, that is so interesting. So
right,
let's
yeah,
move on, right? And then we've
yeah.
touched around, Arsenal in 2021.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of comments now. I mean, in the comment section, there's still a lot of arguments about Emery and Ateta, whatever, whatever, whatever. But I mean, our reality right now is Ateta is our manager, and we're moving forward. But I want to touch a bit about players, right? I'm
Mm,
going to ask you one question.
yeah.
Of our entire squad, which player impressed you the most in 2021?
Um, I would say I would say Saka. Saka impressed me a lot in 2021. There are quite a few of them, because he's the one that kind of break into that first team vibe that quicker than any of the youngsters that we have. I don't want to. Martinelli might probably be, assuming Martinelli is playing then on that, so he's not injured, and it might probably be but look at the short period Martinelli came in. Look at what he's done.
It's been fire, man.
It's been on fire. But so, and again, look at the squad. If Saka is having an off day, the whole team is having an off day. You understand what I mean?
Most
So,
times, yeah.
and I would say is the for me, he is the one. He is the one really. So, and yeah, I think and again, I look at him every time I look at Saka. I don't think the manager just like kind of say, okay, go onto the pitch and just go and do your thing. You understand what I mean? Just go and do your thing, and you don't need to worry about all this positioning game that I ask you. Just go and do your thing,
Just
and he
go and
go there
play
and
and
just
play your
do
game.
his thing. But all the other players, it looks like the manager tell them that if this man is holding on to the ball, this is where I want you. All those positions, it doesn't give them the freedom, but it gave the freedom to Saka. Just go and do it. And then I think maybe probably that's the reason why Pepe struggled to get into the
to
team
get
under
into the
attack.
team, yeah, and he will still
Yeah.
continue to struggle. Okay, that
Give
that's
yes,
interesting.
I want Atata to try something. Give Pepe the freedom that you give Saka. Give that
Give
freedom
it
to
to
Pepe,
Pepe and let's
and
see.
let's
And
see
let's
what's gonna happen. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you make a very valid point about Bukayo Saka. He there was a time in this club where the general consensus was Bukayo Saka was the one carrying us.
Carrying us, yeah.
You know, and that was crazy. You know that a player of that age
Mm.
was the one carrying a club like Arsenal. I
I
mean,
think
the guy is
it's
20.
20 now. I was 21.
Exactly. Like you got to,
19.
it's 20. It's not even 21
It's
yet.
not
It was
even, yeah,
19 at that time when he was
at that
carrying the
time, yeah.
club. You know, if you think about it, like for a 19-year-old to have
Mm-hmm.
carried that kind of responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
that's just something else, you know.
And he has break
And
into the England squad as well. Now we
yeah,
have three 20-year-old 20 year
imagine
old
getting
kids.
goals, getting assists for the England Cup for
Mm,
England. So yeah, I mean that's a good shout to Saka. That's most impressive player for Mercy Boy. For
mm,
me, I have another choice, right?
yeah.
For me, it's been Smith Rowe. And it's good that we can have a diversity of players. It means we've
Yeah,
divided
yeah, yeah.
players, right? I remember when Smith Rowe came back from his injury because he was injured at the start of last season, and we weren't playing well when he came back, right? And Ateta was using him in the Europa League, and we were
Mm,
winning. He was getting goals, getting assists in the Europa League,
yeah.
and I kept crying, put this boy in the Premier League. Bench William. Bring in Smith Rowe. We don't have a number 10. Remember then,
Mm,
we had number 10 problem. We don't get number 10 that year. We don't have a number 10. We were trying William, Lacazette, Willock in number 10. I said, bring in this Smith Rowe boy.
mm,
We've seen him at Huddersfield. You've seen him in the Europa League. Give him
mm,
some trust. And
mm-hmm,
it wasn't until that Chelsea game when we
mm.
had a lot of
Like
absent
a lot
players
of absent players, yes.
that Ateta had no choice. He played Smith Rowe, and since that game, Smith Rowe has not stopped.
Hey, that's
Right,
not stopped.
it's
That's
been
not stopped. And
fantastic.
three games in a row now, he come up from the bench and he scored.
It amazes me. I can't. I mean, obviously, he won't always come up from the bench and score. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, he's a player at the moment that the desire for me, I think, is a bit upset that he doesn't get as much recognition as
Mm,
some other young players get.
mm,
All
yeah.
these boys are nominated for Golden Boy, but he isn't nominated. So it's like he's telling himself, I must make my mark so that people start to recognize me. You get so it's like
Mm,
he's hungry, he has that passion. Once he's on the pitch, he wants to deliver. And at the moment, if I'm correct, he has the highest number of goals at Arsenal this season.
mm-hmm.
And is doing well. Is And I saw this yesterday, and let me confirm it in a moment. I think he has the fifth highest number of goals in the Premier League.
Eight. He has more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored eight
And I'm
goals.
like, that is a big deal.
I said
That
it. I said it last week. Last week, Emmitt Smith Rowe is the highest goal scorer in Arsenal. Same number of goals with Cristiano Ronaldo, and he hasn't
it's
played a single penalty yet.
not a single that is
You
that
understand what I
is
mean?
a big deal, bro. That's a big deal. So I'm just really happy for him. I think
Yeah.
that what he has
S-
been able to
Just to
do
add to what you just said about
has been
Smith
great.
Rowe, yeah,
Yeah.
that maybe probably he's trying to make a statement for people to recognize him. So Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, all those young boys, they need to understand that their time will come, if you understand what I mean. When what's his name? This Manchester City winger, what's his name? Raheem Sterling. When
Sterling.
Raheem Sterling break into the Liverpool team, when he went to Man City at their age, it's the same thing. A lot of the wonders Raheem Sterling was doing then, it's not really, they don't really recognize him until maybe probably it develop, it become a regular proper first team player, and people started to recognize him. And you know and again, they're still when they get older and they're doing some other things. For example, Rashford, like, is kind of fighting for kids from school to get free food. Raheem Sterling is fighting all this racism thing. They they need to they need to develop and kind of bring something into the society, and people will start to recognize them, and people will talk about them more
We'll talk about
than
them.
just playing football, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I get
yeah,
you. I get you. I mean,
because all these big players, they do the same thing. So like, for example, when when Ozil they say you give money to charity, then just it's just
Yeah, it
doing
still
all of
does a
that
lot of
for,
charity work till
yeah,
today.
for the people to talk a lot about him. Then when they get to that stage, then you will see people will talk more about. They are very good talented young players, but at the moment you know they don't need to rush things. They got plenty of years ahead of them, and their time will come. Really, yeah, that's what I want to say.
100%,
Hmm.
100%. So yeah, let's take a few more comments. Sentiment saying Emery didn't bottle anything, Bemiga. He had dead squad players. I mean, yeah, he didn't have a squad as good
Oh
as
my God,
Arteta's,
yeah,
and we always say that as well. If Emery had gotten the backing that Arteta got,
yeah,
right, like Bemiro mentioned earlier, it may have actually, maybe won us the Europa League after all, or made top four.
yeah. Let me
But
say
he didn't
something
get that
about that
backing.
comment. And again, a player Ateta said, "Oh, I want this player." The club go out and get that player for Ateta. So many players that Emery want, they didn't get him the player that he said he want.
True,
They
they
get
got
him
him
another player.
somebody else,
You
yeah,
you
for
know,
some weird reason. Yeah, he
yeah.
didn't. I don't think he got the kind of respect that Ateta is getting
I would
now.
say Emery actually doesn't get any of the player that he mentioned. They get him totally
They
completely
just got him
different.
whoever they wanted,
Yeah.
right? And
So
he was forced to work with them. So yeah, I
mhm.
mean that makes sense. Bimiro says, as much as I like Saka, Martinelli and Smith Rowe will be better players than Saka. Saka doesn't score a lot of goals. I mean, I'm hoping that Saka, that's a part of Saka's game that improves, right? We saw him against
Mm,
Norwich. He scored 2 goals.
yeah,
The thing that he did, that is especially his second goal, I think it reminded me a lot of Pepe.
yeah.
And this is why people I might appear to be like a Pepe fan,
Mm.
but that goal that Saka scored is typical. Those are the kind of
You
goals that Pepe
Pepe.
scores.
Yeah.
Very typical, right?
Okay. I want to say something, right? What I want people to understand now is Saka. A lot of people saying that he should be scoring more. Saka is not a goal scorer. Let's get that right first of all. He is not a striker. He's not a goal scorer. This guy is a midfielder. If he score goals, it's just a bonus to his game. Emmy Smith Rowe that is scoring goals at the moment is just a bonus to his game. It's going to come to a point Emmy Smith Rowe can go like 5, 6, 7 games without scoring a goal.
And not score.
They are not goal scorers. The goal scorers, they are there to provide goals.
But Monster Boy, think about it this way, right? And
Yeah,
this is just to bring a different perspective.
yeah,
Mohamed Salah
yeah,
plays on the same wing that Saka plays on.
yeah. That's right.
Is the highest goal scorer in the league.
Yeah, okay. I will
If a
answer that
player
question.
can get goals from that
Let me
wing,
answer
why
that
can't
question.
Saka get here?
Let me answer that question.
I'm not saying Saka should hit
Yeah,
Salah numbers, but I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying
What is the name of the this Bayern Munich player? He's retired now. He
Robin.
played for Robin. Robin play in the same position as Saka. Salah play in the same position as Saka. These are well established players. Saka hasn't get to that stage yet. Okay, so this is a 20-year-old boy we're talking about.
True,
Before
true.
Robin get to that level and before Salah get to that level, they're not doing what Saka is doing at 20
Doing
years
at age 20,
at the
you're
age of
absolutely
20.
correct. You're correct.
Okay, so we need to kind of we don't need to be too harsh on Saka if he's not scoring goals. If he's providing assist,
That's
he's
also
doing his
good.
job.
That's also
So
good.
it is also good. Then if he's scoring goals with it, to me is a bonus.
It's a bonus.
Let's look at it this way. Let's give Saka till when he's 25 or 26, and let's see what
And then
by then
the bar will be raised for him.
he'll
I
be
hope he will.
he'll
I
be
mean, I don't know if
developed
we'll still
and
be at Arsenal at that age, but we'll see. If we're winning, maybe.
we'll see.
We'll
So
see.
mhm,
But yeah, I mean, I think my point was just going to be that I think that as a part of his game that he's
mhm,
developing, and it will end up, being able to score more goals in the future. I mean,
mhm,
I remember when I compare him to somebody like Iwobi, and
yeah,
just 2 days ago or something, I was having this argument on Instagram. It was
mhm.
about Pepe because I think I've been identified as a Pepe sexual now. And I was, I feel like people are very harsh towards Pepe, right? He's probably not is like we said, Emery didn't want him, so he wasn't interested. Arteta doesn't trust him. Maybe he's not a good fit for the way we play,
The
but
way we play
he
or the
gets
way
but
the manager
he
wants
gets
to play.
goals. He gets
Mm,
goals, he gets numbers, and that's facts. Last season he had our highest goal contribution of all the Arsenal
mm-hmm.
players.
Yeah.
Do you get? So like, and then people come to say, "Oh, it's too stupid. It doesn't have this. It cannot play." But I'm like, it does. I don't care about that. I care about outputs. I remember when we had Alex Iwobi, brilliant player. Under Emery, I thought he was probably like our best player because he was the
Mm.
most always attacking,
Always
always
attacking.
trying to create, but he lacked end product. The
Mm-hmm.
final ball was
Yeah.
terrible.
It's terrible.
So
Yeah.
now I have a player who maybe, I mean, he has theatrics, he loses the ball, all of those things, but he doesn't have a great first touch, like people complain. But regardless of all that, he gets you goals, he gets you
Mm-hmm.
assists. I think that I'm not saying bench Saka for him, but I'm saying at least give him a chance,
Mm-hmm.
right? He has a role to play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't think what's this guy's name? Ateta recognizes that. And Bemiro says something here. He says Saka needs to have been rested since Pepe is going to AFCON. Pepe going to AFCON might just expose that we have overused Saka way too much. It should not be starting every game. And I agree with that. I think, like Mossy Boy just said, you've made a lot of comments about using your squad, right? If Pepe is part of our squad, you gotta use him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sentiment here is saying why is Saka so important for Arteta? And Saka and ESR have had ups and downs with form this season. Now they're in a purple patch. And that's a fact. If those boys, like Monty Boy said now, if they start to go 7, 8 games and they don't score, we'll be in trouble again. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Except we've somehow fixed the issue. Osman Ali says Ramsdale is the best thing to happen to Arsenal in 2021. He has changed the dynamics of the side and it
Mm-hmm.
transmits what it means to play for a club of our stature. Martinez has stopped talking.
Mm-hmm.
That one is facts on facts.
That's
Martinez
correct.
don't keep
I
quiet.
agree with that comment there.
It
I
don't keep
completely
quiet,
100%
man. Before
agree.
Martinez, he mouths big. Any small
Yeah,
thing, he don't
but
they
the
talk. When I
reason
was at Arsenal, they didn't trust me. When I was at
mm,
Arsenal, they didn't blah blah blah.
he's,
Now the guy don't
he
calm
was
down.
talking then because we don't have a goalkeeper that can put confidence in our back four. But now we have that goalkeeper that he can control his box. He tells all our back four where they should be, what they need to be doing. He knows when to go long and he knows when to go short. So, but
Yeah.
now, when did you hear? Was Martinez talk again?
The guy has
No.
he has kept quiet
So
now.
he just keep
He
quiet.
knows his
So
organo. But yeah,
yeah,
Ramsdale has been fantastic. Ramsdale have been so
yeah.
fantastic.
But the reason
I
why
love
I
seeing
was
him.
thinking of this comment, I was thinking of Ramsdale earlier. But the reason because that I didn't choose Ramsdale is and MS Smith Rowe is because Saka is the first one,
Has been here for long,
and he
yeah.
has carried the club so many times and
Saka
rescued the club
was
so
Saka
many
was
times.
our first
So
project youth poster boy,
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, very valid point. Big ups to you, Osman Ali,
Mm,
and the rest of you guys as well. Gwemiro, Sentiment, Dizzy. Let's know who the player that has impressed you the most has been.
mm.
Whoever is in the comment section, share that with us, and we'll put it up on the chat. Sentiment says embarrassing, embarrassing. No way should ESR be top scorer. It's weird how only the novice players look anywhere near decent sometimes for this novice manager, and all the senior players are struggling. That one, it is what it is. Right? We've run.
I just
It's
don't
one
know
of the
why
biggest
all our
complaints.
senior players struggles. I don't know
Let me
why.
tell you something, Mossy boy. Those the difference, and I will say this: the difference between those our senior players and our young players is that look at someone like Aubameyang and Lacazette. They've
Mm,
been playing a certain way all of their life,
yeah,
right? Aubameyang is 31.
you
People
can't. Yeah,
take a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
31-year-old man that
Mm,
has been playing at the highest level for years, has
yes.
achieved things, and you
Mm.
want him to completely transform his game to a
That
new manager's tactic at 31. That's hard.
now the thing where people they talk with that say, if you teach a no dog a new trick,
That's hard. You
that's
get it's
hard.
you but these young boys, these 19, 20, 21-year-old boys,
There's
it's easy
dumb.
to
It's easy
transform their
to
game.
yeah game.
That's
Yeah,
why they're
that's
the
right.
ones that are doing better under
Doing
Arteta.
better. Yeah.
And I think Arteta realizes that as well, and that's why he has dedicated himself to Project Youth. Hopefully it works out.
That is why a 33-year-old William cannot adapt to the way
It
Ateta
can't. It
plays.
just can't. It's
Because
impossible for him.
he has been playing in one situation in Chelsea for years. So and you came to us now, you want to change that?
So
Nah,
look at
man.
Lukaku at Chelsea. I was reading one comment that he said recently now that like it's like Tuchel's style of football isn't doing that well as well for him because
Mm,
obviously like he's used to a certain style and you
mm.
can see now we're not
Because
seeing Lukaku with us we used to see.
when I started to see Aubameyang play, because I started to know Aubameyang when he was playing for Dortmund, right? I always see Aubameyang stand. He always play at the shoulder of the last defender. That is the way I know Aubameyang's place. But not like you're going to ask him to pick up the ball from the left and you cut in and you just. But it's what it
It
is.
is what it is. It is
It's
what
the
it is.
it's the
It's
manager. He
so
knows what.
yeah. I mean, we'll continue with our project youth and OP works. So yeah, I mean that's sentiment. He doesn't think that ESR should be the highest goal scorer. He says,
Mm,
why are senior? So this is also a continuation of that comment saying senior players are not performing or they're being isolated, frozen out, or expelled or
mm.
exiled rather. It says Ramsdale is Ateta's best buy, but he alone has kept the cricket scores down and Ateta in a job. I mean, Ramsdale has done well for Ateta. I give him a round of applause.
Seriously, that guy
um,
has proven me wrong, man. And
for real, man. You know now. You
proven
know a
me,
lot of us didn't want him.
man.
Gabriel says, let's stop getting hyped over a series of wins because this fan base is so predictable. We have 7 games of wins. Ateta is a genius. The players are playing for him. When we lose 4 games, then everyone is Ateta out. That one is fact, sharp. Fickle fan base.
The
Everybody
four,
now
four game is even much. Let
lose
him
to
go
Man
and lose
City. Let's
to
see.
Man City.
Mistakenly lose more than 2-0 to Man City now. You go see, say, it will start another opera. You see, let me tell you, the Ateta out people, they're still there. A lot of people have not changed their mind about Ateta. They
Uh,
just can't talk now because
but me,
we're
you
winning.
can see it, but every
The
time we talk, I
moment
always
we
say my
start
mind.
losing, Ateta out boys will come out again. Man, sentiment says Osman Ali using Ateta's PR buzzwords transmit like it was in the press conference after transmit Ateta transmitting the energy. Gabriel is saying, I think the players that have impressed the most are Tierney, Pepe, and somehow Bukayo Saka. That's interesting. Tierney has been good. You know, I just don't want to push my Pepe agenda here. I can almost say that Pepe was the best player at Arsenal last season, but people will kill me when I say it. So I'll just keep quiet. It says, let's remember Aubameyang's page sort of dried up when it came to the PL. He isn't quick the way he used to be.
Mm,
Then we got to play fast and feed him in the penalty box. But that's not even going to happen at Arsenal. It's why somebody like Nketiah cannot work under Ateta.
mm,
Because Nketiah is a fox in the box. He wants to stay in the
mm-hmm.
box and you feed him chances and you know he's going to score. But
Yeah.
that's not the way Ateta plays. If you are the front man, you need to be in the midfield half of the time. So it's just what it is. Sentiment says Birmingham, no such thing as a bad student, only a bad teacher. Look at Conte, able to compromise, adjust his system to help benefit the players. He has not always done this way. Yeah, and you're right, right? So it's a give and take, right? It's either as the manager, you look at your players, you identify what they're good at, and you build
Mm-hmm.
a system that builds on those strengths,
Mm-hmm.
or you force whatever ideology is in your head on everybody, which is what Ateta is doing. Ateta is not able to look at players and play to their strengths. If he
Mm-hmm.
could, he would have gotten a lot more out of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, but obviously he can't. Again, I bring you back. He's inexperienced. This is his first job. He's learning on the job. You people gave him that job. Only God knows why.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy Boy said he lied on his CV, so maybe he did. Um, Average position for Bamiyang is under Ateta, but his left wing back. He can't dribble, but his movement in the penalty box is amazing. Which is why I think Martinelli might shine a little bit because Martinelli
Mm.
can dribble. He has that technical ability.
He can
Is
carry the
still
ball here.
good in the box as well. So yeah, I mean that's what it is. Let's move on. And we should be thinking of wrapping up the show very soon. Mercy Boy, and I know we talked about this in the beginning.
Hmm.
What's your prediction for the Man City game?
We're losing 2-0.
2-0 loss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go and say we're going to win 2-1.
Okay. Mm.
And we'll see next week.
But the reason why
Quarterfinal.
I said we're going to lose 2-0 is I because like I said to you, I've got Manchester City, Chelsea, and us. With my missus is Man City. I'm Arsenal. Brother-in-law is Chelsea. So I
Okay.
watch all those games, and I've watched Man City to the extent that they don't look like a
They don't look
team
like
that
team
is
that's
going
gonna
to
lose,
lose a
man.
game.
Bro,
No.
you know this is what Man City does. The
Hmm.
moment they climb to the top of the table, they will just go like 15
Hmm.
games winning.
The,
Nobody
a lot because
see they build that gap and you can no longer catch them.
they're 8 points clear now, and
Yeah,
for Liverpool or Chelsea to catch them, they need Man City to probably draw, I think, 5 games in a row or lose
or
3 games
lose
in a
three
row,
games
which
in a
is
row.
not going to
It's not
happen
gonna happen, man. That's the
because
facts.
Man City has won the title definitely.
As it is, it'll be
As it
difficult to
is
collect it
because
from them.
Liverpool and Chelsea just need to go and look for. They just need to start to play their strong team in whatever cup they're in. They ain't catching Man City. They broke their record last season. They've won 10 games in a row. 10.
Those guys, they know
Which Premier League
they're
go
crazy.
10 games in no lose, no draw,
Just
win
blasting teams out of
10.
the way. Yeah.
Come on,
And
man.
I won't be surprised if they go ahead and do that again. That would be it'll be very
You
interesting.
remember when Vincent Company scored one cracking goal against
I
Leicester when
remember
they
that, man. I
you
remember
know
so they
you
used that
know
to win the league.
there is you get to a stage that from I think I can't remember they go from I think they have like 8 games left in the season. So either if they drop point, if they draw any game, if Man City draw any game, Liverpool will go ahead
Liverpool
and win
would
the
take
title.
over, yeah.
Man City went with the remaining 8 games. Man City went on to win. They won all the
They
eight,
blasted everything. I
and
remember
that
that
is the
company goal.
season.
That goal from Vincent Company
And that is
was
a season Liverpool only
mad.
lost one game.
One game, yeah, I
Talk
remember
less of
that.
them losing 2 games already this season.
I remember that. I
So
remember that.
forget it, man.
That was, and I think that was season Liverpool won the Champions League.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's interesting.
Mhm.
Sentiment says 2-0. Mossy boy, you think Arsenal will be that competitive and competent for 90 minutes, or City will take it easy on little brother? Little brother is
But
Ateta.
the
So he's
reason
trying to
why
say it'll be more than two.
yeah, he's trying to say it's more than two. I agree, but the reason why I stuck to 2-0 is because Arsenal are at home, and they're very Arsenal. They improve a little bit on defending as well. So that is the reason why I said 2-0. So
2-0. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
we'll see. Sentiment. Have some faith in your boys.
mm,
Um, there's still comments about Ateta here. Oh.
yeah. But let me say,
And it's about
if
okay.
we beat Man City, if we beat Man City on Saturday, then I will be having faith that we're going to be finishing top four.
That would change things. Yeah, that would
That
really,
a
really
little
improve
bit,
the
yeah.
mindset of a lot of fans.
Mm,
You're correct. Sentiment saying Partey is struggling from a world class player, and Bemiro is also saying the same thing that Ateta has turned world class players into shadows
into
of their
shadow,
former
yes.
selves. Partey and Aubameyang were most of the Atletico and Dortmund. I mean, it's just
Mm.
what it is, right? Like the guy doesn't know how to manage established players,
He doesn't know how
only
to
young
manage
players,
established players. That's right. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
he has seen it in himself, and that's why he's now a project youth guy. So it is what it is. We take it that way. Let's touch on some of the other games. I mean, not
Mm.
some, actually, just one other game that will be happening that game week. Because I think besides the Arsenal game, it's also an interesting game week because I think there's a Liverpool Chelsea, if I'm correct, that is happening that game week as well. As we're
Cristiano
playing,
Ronaldo scored actually.
yeah, Liverpool Chelsea. So we're playing Man City January 1st. Chelsea Liverpool, they're playing January 2nd at
Hmm.
the Stamford Bridge. So that will be an interesting game that game week. I think that's probably like the star game of that game week.
Yeah.
And also Arsenal Man City. What do you think is gonna happen in that game? Chelsea versus Liverpool, Stamford Bridge.
Because the Chelsea is because the last one they play at Anfield, they drew, right?
Yeah,
And Chelsea they drew because Chelsea actually got one man sent off in that game, I think, if I could remember. So they're playing at Stafford Bridge now, and their manager is complaining that he doesn't have enough players. So But Liverpool at the moment they are on fire as well. So they don't know. The Liverpool don't know whether they are home or away. They just go out and beat
They
up
just do
teams.
whatever they want to
They
do.
just do whatever. I would definitely go for Liverpool.
Yeah, Chelsea seem to be struggling at the moment.
Mm.
They don't seem to have that fire that they had at the start of the
Yeah,
season.
I think yeah, I would go for Liverpool. Yeah,
I mean, I will go for another draw only because they're at Stamford Bridge. I think they'll
yeah,
play
yeah.
with a bit more pride. But that should be a very, very interesting
But
game.
there won't be a lot of goals. It's either 2-1 or 1-0.
Yeah, you know how it is
Mm.
now. Chelsea don't concede a lot of goals,
They
so
are doing that at the moment. Look at the goal their goalkeeper conceded yesterday. Oh my God! Normally on a good day, Mendy will save that. Mendy, I
you
first of
don't
all
dey
thought
tire now. Baba don't chop.
no. I first of all thought Mendy, that Chelsea goalkeeper, has got like kind of wind behind him. Like he just saved everything. But that yesterday, that Welbeck goal, you cannot. It doesn't even. You just look at the ball. The ball just went into the bottom corner. I was like,
Danny, that's Agent Daniel still pulling the strings for us. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I get that. Next week, after we've played Man City, I will ask you your predictions about where you think Arsenal will finish in the league. I won't ask you today
no.
because I think that the Man City game can change things. So
Yeah,
we'll,
yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll have that conversation next week on the
Hmm.
show.
Yeah.
Before we round up, let me just take a few of the other comments. Wimero says, I don't have confidence we'll beat Man City. I don't think any Arsenal fan will have
Anyhow,
that kind of
that's
confidence.
fine.
Uh, Sentiment says Oba was a shark under Emery, an experienced manager. They buck one manager and it all falls to pot. It is what it is, right? Emery knew how to get goals out of Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Ateta doesn't. It says if Ateta wants Project Youth, we have an under 23 side he can manage and replace Metasaka. Our first team don't turn on that 23 now. Oh. You know, they see our players, all our players 21, 22. Oh my god. He's just picking up Danny. Danny, sentiments is the Conte, the Conte derby. Gamero says we should have never left hybrid, but I saw this one. Gamero is taking us all the way back to hybrid. Oh my goodness, this is so funny. I watched a documentary about us now. From the Ivory days to the to the Emirates Stadium days, and you might have a valid point there, Gbemiro, but I think that the thing we did wrong, in my opinion, when we left Highbury was we had a dry spell because we had a lot of financial constraints. And this is why we always big up Arsene Wenger because he kept us in the top four. He kept us as a big club,
With all
even
those,
when we
yeah,
couldn't
that's right.
spend money,
Morning, yeah.
right? Because I remember in that little documentary, I learned a bit about some of even the terms of the contract of the loans that we got, right? They had to give us a Wenger a 5-year contract, like it was tied to the loan,
To the loan,
right?
yeah.
We had to slash our wage budget to be a certain percentage of the club's annual budget,
Mm,
so we couldn't compete, and it was bad because that was now the time that Chelsea, Abramovich bought Chelsea, Man City got
mm,
money they could spend, and we couldn't spend as much. But I
mm,
think when that phase passed and we had paid off the loans and we now had more money and it was time to invest in the squad, choosing not to invest at that point was where we made the mistake. And we're still
mm.
paying for that mistake till today.
Till today, yeah. That's
So, I
right.
mean, hopefully things start to change in the future. Um, I think there's a final comment here from Osman Ali. He says, my New Year resolution is to see us now beat City, a new striker, and Tari to be more consistent. Osman Ali has said it all.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get a good New Year present from the Arsenal. Hopefully we can beat City at the Emirates on
Mhm,
January 1st. That would be a fantastic way to start the year.
mhm.
But we'll see what it is.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up the show right now. Big ups to every single person that has been with us through all 29 episodes of Lasgidi Effect this year. It's been a big deal for all of us. Big ups to Tade, big ups to Akuma, who are not here right now. A few people that have joined us on the show throughout the year. There's talks from Football Fans Tribe. There's Theo, who used to join us in the studio every now and then. There was an episode where we had Stricto. And it's just been an interesting ride. Big ups to everybody who is a regular on the show.
Mm.
Please remember to like, subscribe, share the videos, share the links, and a happy new year in advance to all of you.
Hello. Mm.
Mercy boy, do you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, like I said, this is the last show for the year. I'm just going to kind of big up everybody that that come in to comment, the people that share our video. Just subscribe. I will just be saying Happy New Year in advance, and definitely, I'm sure we're going to see everybody back in the new year and
Mhm.
on our first show in 2022.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. So we'll
and
be
I want
back.
to say thank you very much and keep supporting us on this
Thank
channel.
you so much, guys. We'll be back on next week Thursday for the 30th episode, and that'll be our first show for the new year. And we'll see all of you. And until then, from all of us here, happy new year in
Happy New
advance.
Year.
See you next week, guys.
Yeah, peace.
Tick tock, time na money. Ori, me, check a shake yori. Licky, come and take me away to the place of my desire. I don't wanna be there. To the old way,